Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for Maximizing Prime MLS Tools and Benefits. My name is Wendy Huckins, and I'm the training specialist here at Prime MLS. All of our webinars are conducted in a listen-only mode, and that means everyone is muted, but we still encourage your questions. So go ahead and find that little chat box, open that up, and at any point over the next 60 minutes, if you have a question, type that question into the chat. I get your chats in real time, and I am more than happy to answer questions as they come in. Additionally, I can stick around at the conclusion of the webinar and answer any questions you might have at that time as well. All of our Prime MLS webinars are available for all of our Prime MLS members to attend. And if you happen to be licensed in New Hampshire and Vermont, you can also potentially earn 1 CE towards your license renewal in both of those states with your attendance today. The other states are currently not offering the CE credit as our Zoom format does not meet their requirements. In order to earn the 1 CE for New Hampshire and or Vermont, make sure you are logged into your own device. That is how we keep track of attendance via the Zoom attendance list. And make sure you do not miss more than 5 minutes of this 60-minute webinar. If you satisfy both of those requirements, you can expect for us to email you an affidavit. Let's see, today is Wednesday. We should be able to get those out by Friday before 5 p.m. Now, if you are in the process of renewing your license and you do need us to put a rush on that, feel free to reach out to training@primemls.com at the conclusion of the webinar, and we will put a rush on that affidavit for you. Now, we have a number of member benefits and tools that are provided to you with your membership to Prime MLS. We're going to be talking about some of them, not only the ones on this screen, but we'll try to mention a few other things as well. We will let you know how you can access these member benefits and tools and where you can get some more information so you can decide if it's a tool or benefit you want to start taking advantage of. So this is just a smattering of what we're going to talk about. In the end, over this 60 minutes, we're going to mention over or just about 20 member benefits that you have access to. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to jump out of our PowerPoint. We always like to start on our Prime MLS dashboard. This is for a couple of reasons. First of all, you have your profile information on this page. I like to point out behind the edit button, this is where you can have license for up to 4 states that you're licensed in. So the only way we know to create both an affidavit for New Hampshire and Vermont is that we see that information on your profile. So go ahead and just check this information when you have a chance after class and make sure that your New Hampshire and Vermont license information is here so we can put together both of those affidavits for you where applicable. If any of the information here is incorrect or it's missing, do reach out to membership@primemls.com and our membership team will be able to update this. And then once again, we'll be able to get those affidavits out before 5 p.m. on Friday. We're going to use our back arrow to get back to our home page here, and we're going to scroll down just a bit. And this is where you can start seeing those many member benefits and tools. I think a lot of times folks just come in here and they jump into that Paragon MLS software, and you're really missing out on all these other options that are available to you. But let's start right here under quick links and let's talk about why do you have 2 access points into the Paragon database? Well, this access point on that left side column, that is for Paragon Professional. Paragon Professional is that older view of the Paragon database, and it has some limitations. You've been enjoying Paragon Professional for a number of years now, and like all things, it comes to a point where it really is starting to age out. It can't really be updated anymore, and there are some limitations. So those limitations recommendations on Paragon Professional would be that it is best used when you're using Chrome as your browser, and it's also best used on larger screens like laptops and PCs. Now, this is where Paragon Connect comes in. Paragon Connect is the wave of the future. It is the newest user interface to that Paragon database, and there is just one database, two different views. So Paragon Connect is going to be able to offer you more choices and more flexibility. Paragon Connect can be used on any browser, and it can also be used on any device. As a matter of fact, you can download an app to access Paragon Connect quickly on your Apple or Android phones. You can use Paragon Connect on your notebooks and tablets. And of course, you can use Paragon Connect on your PCs, your laptops, and Macs, because it is available and functions the same way across all those different browsers that you would be accessing those different devices on. So we're going to be in Paragon Connect a little bit, and we'll be in Paragon Professional a little bit, and we'll be in your help desk. You have access to your PrimeMLS help desk right from your PrimeMLS dashboard. You have two access points here, including that bright yellow access help desk point. Either one of those is going to take you into your PrimeMLS help desk, and this is where you can get answers to your questions 24/7. Now, this afternoon, we're going to spend a number of minutes in our PrimeMLS benefits and tools section. But before we dive in, I like to point out that you can also use your help desk to communicate with staff here at PrimeMLS. Anytime our office is open, in the bottom right corner, you're going to see that little green chat option, and you can click on that chat. If you have questions about how to do something, feel free to reach out to training. When you click on training, you'll be talking to either Amber or myself, and we'll happily help you navigate the options here on your help desk, or using any of your PrimeMLS member benefits and tools to our best ability, and also help you navigate the Paragon MLS software. Now, whether the office is open or not, you can also reach out to us via ticket. That is the same as creating an email, but you don't have to leave your help desk to do it. You can come right here to create a ticket, open up that section. You'll notice your email is already populated. Once again, you have those groups. So if you need help doing something, training is your best option, unless you're reaching out to us on a holiday or a weekend. If you are sending us a ticket on a holiday or a weekend, make sure you choose technical support. That technical support email address is support@primemls.com, and we always have a dedicated staff member watching tech support on the weekends and holidays, because we want to be able to provide you that support when you need it, even when the office is closed during normal business hours, 9 to 5 on those holidays and weekends. So anytime you're reaching out to us via ticket during an office closure for holidays or weekends, choose tech support. Otherwise, you can always use that as your default. We'll always make sure the right folks are answering. Once you choose that group, just pop in your subject, type out your question, attach a file if that will help us understand what's happening and how we can better help you. And then as soon as you hit submit, you're immediately going to get a response. That response is just letting you know your ticket has been submitted without any technical difficulties. Give us a little bit of time, and shortly thereafter, you'll be receiving an answer to your question from the PrimeMLS staff member. So not only can you use your PrimeMLS help desk to get the answers to your questions 24/7, but you can also reach out to PrimeMLS staff via chat or creating a ticket. And of course, you're always welcome to pick up the phone and give us a call during business hours as well. Now we're going to spend some time in your Prime MLS benefits and tools section. I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and you can come right to this top section and click on Prime MLS benefits and tools. And this is a great starting point to get an overview of all those different tools and benefits that are available to you. So if you want to learn more about CRS, CRS is the public record database that's integrated into the Paragon database, and you can come here and you can get those details. But of course, so much more information for you here. We'll be trying to hit on as many of these benefits and tools as we can. And think of your benefits as those free services that come with your Prime MLS membership. So there's no cost to use CRS. There are some information here, and we'll call those tools, that there may be a cost associated with using that. Often it comes with a free trial. And then if you choose to use that tool, there's often a discount because you are a Prime MLS member. So I'll be trying to point that out for you. And another thing to mention, sometimes when you're signing up to take advantage of these tools and benefits, you need to have additional information. Sometimes they will ask you for a user ID, or they may ask you for a user code. Well, you can come here to your Prime MLS help desk and you can get that information. So we're just going to go back to the top, click on our home button, and you can use your find section here to type in ID or code, and that's going to let you know exactly where you can find this information here on your help desk. So just by putting in that little bit of information, I can come down here, and now I have those instructions of where I can find my ID and code. And you also get kind of a heads up on which member benefit or tool may need what. Now, I'm going to show you how you can easily do this in Paragon Professional, because it gives you all those pieces of information you may need: the user code, the user ID, and then sometimes you need your office code as well. So not only do you have this information here on your help desk, but we're actually going to jump into Paragon Professional, and I'm going to show you where you can easily find this information. Let's just get back to our home page here, and I am going into Paragon Professional. This is my home page, and from here I'm going to go up to membership, and I'm going to go down to agent roster. From here, I can just go to agent name, and if I put in my information, hit enter, we can see we have one match. And then when I hit search, it's going to bring me that one-liner information. So this is where I have my user code, my user ID, and also that office code if I need it. Now, sometimes they will just say, you know, they need user information, or it's a little fuzzy what they're looking for. We don't always know if it's the user code or if it's the user ID that third-party site might be looking for. But you can come here and you can get both of those. And if you give them one and it doesn't work, it's very likely they need the other one. What they are never going to need is your MLS login and password. Remember, accessing Prime MLS dashboard, that is where you go to myprimemls.com. You put in that username and password, and that username and password is always to be kept confidential. You don't share that with anyone. You are the only person that should ever be logging on to your Prime MLS dashboard. So rest assured, none of those third-party sites or your member benefits or tools are ever going to be asking you for your username and password. And if they do, please let us know so we can reach out and have a conversation with them. So from here, you already now know how you can go into your help desk and start getting more information on your member benefits and tools. You know how you can use your help desk to find that user code or user ID that you may need to access some of those benefits and tools. And you know where this Prime MLS member benefits and tools tab is, and how you can come here and you can start getting an overview. Now we're going to talk about 4 different sections of benefits and tools that are going to be helpful to you. We're going to first talk about listing data and media tools, and then we're going to go into consumer benefit tools. And then towards the end of the webinar, we'll wrap everything up talking about stats and reporting, and then also CRM, social media, and lead generation tools. So we have a lot of things to cover over the next 45 minutes. We're going to start with those listing data and media tools, and it makes sense that we start with Paragon Professional and Paragon Connect. We've already talked about the benefits of using Paragon Connect because you have more flexibility in terms of, using any browser and also being able to access Paragon Connect on any device. Paragon Professional is that older view of the Paragon database, best used with Chrome and on larger screens like laptops and PCs. Now, one of those integrated tools into Paragon is CRS. I already mentioned that CRS is a public record database, and it's available for you to access here on your PrimeMLS dashboard. You also have access in Paragon Professional, and it's integrated into both of those views of the Paragon database. Now, one of the very first ways you can take advantage of CRS when you're the listing agent is use CRS to autofill some public record information into your listing. And when you do that, it's also going to sync your listing with CRS. And that means when other agents are searching for properties in CRS, they're going to get an icon with Paragon information, and they'll be able to jump right to that agent full report that you see in Paragon, just like you can get CRS information when you're in Paragon. So in order to take advantage of this, let's go on to our Paragon Connect homepage. We're able to start inputting a listing right here from our homepage when we go down to quick actions. You can create a listing, and that's what we're going to start. And we're going to take advantage of CRS tax autofill versus doing it the manual way and not letting the system autofill some of those fields from the public record information available through CRS. Anytime I can let the system do the work for me, I definitely want to take advantage of that. Plus, using CRS tax autofill syncs my listing with the CRS database. I'm going to use an example of a property that is in New Hampshire. So I'm going to leave that selected. And then that brings me to my fields where I can search for that property. Anytime you're using CRS, you always start with the county. And you'll notice that I'm going to have all the different counties in New Hampshire because I made that selection on the previous screen. CRS is available for all of New England and New York. So you can use it to find not only information about properties that are in the Paragon database, but off-market properties for that large geographic area as well. We're going to choose Hillsborough, and then I'm going to open up additional fields, and I can either search for my property by street name or owner's last name. Choose one or the other. I typically go with street name, unless the property I'm looking for is a detached condo where all the units share the same street number and street name, and they're only differentiated by unit numbers. Notice I can't search by unit number here. So in that case, if there were more than 30 units, because 30 is the maximum results I'm ever going to see when I'm using CRS tax autofill, in that specific case, that's when I would use the owner's last name. And particularly if it was a very common owner's last name, I could narrow that down based on city. I'm going to go ahead and search for property with the street name. So we'll use Elmwood. And then I like to narrow that down by putting in the street number. So we'll put in number 4. Once I do that, let me make sure that enters in there. There we go. I can go down to the bottom right screen, hit search, and it should bring up 2 options for me. And indeed it does. And that's because in Hillsborough County, there are 2 properties with the address of 4 Elmwood. There's a 4 Elmwood Ave in Manchester, and then there's a 4 Elmwood Way in Amherst. I'm looking for that property in Manchester. If I needed to review details, I do have that option on both. If I know the property I'm looking for, I can go ahead and click autofill, make sure I select the class, and then hit create. From here, CRS public record information is being pulled into my unpublished listing. That's what we call them here in Paragon Connect versus partial listings in Paragon Professional. So if I open this location section, I can see using CRS tax autofill is already pulling in some information for me. I can see more options have been populated in that tax public record section as well. And remember, not only is that happening, when I make this listing live in the Paragon database, that's when it will then become in sync with CRS, and folks will be able to get the Paragon information when they're looking at this property in CRS. So that's the first way that you can take advantage of CRS tax autofill. Of course, you can also jump onto your PrimeMLS dashboard, go right into CRS, and we do a 60-minute webinar on CRS, but I have the information for this property saved. So instead of having to search for it, I can go right to my saved properties on my CRS homepage, click on that property, and now I'm getting some more details that are available to me through CRS. One of the things I really like about CRS is down towards the bottom, there's this whole section for FEMA flood zones. Anytime you're on the map, you can turn on your flood zones, but here in CRS, I'm going to get much better information than just some color change on the map. I'm going to get the risk. I'm going to get a little bit of description, and even better than that, I have a firm panel ID. This is a clickable link that's going to take me right to the source of the information, which is FEMA. So once again, not only can I like to let the system do the work for me when I can, but anytime I can get information directly from the source, I like to take advantage of that as well. Remember, I came to the FEMA website and got information on that property just by being in CRS and pulling up that property here. I scroll down and I have that whole section of information about FEMA and that clickable firm panel ID. Now, the information you're going to see on your CRS property report is going to vary from state to state, county to county, city to city. It is really pulling in public record information from as many sources as it can on this property. So I always like to think that, CRS is doing the hard work for me, particularly if I'm going to go do a CMA for somebody. I always like to make sure I am meeting with the owner of the property. And CRS is a great way to come in and make sure I indeed have an appointment with the right person. Now, you have a couple of other options to get some public record information, and we'll be talking about real reports in a little bit. But CRS really provides great information, and you can also take advantage of it when you're the listing agent by using that tax autofill. So those two systems can work together. You can get Paragon information when you're in CRS, and of course you can get CRS information when you're in Paragon because CRS is integrated with that database. Next thing we want to talk about, and we're going to hop back into Paragon Connect. Let's just close this out so we don't slow Zoom down too much. We'll go back to Paragon Connect and we're going to scroll down. Let's collapse our tax and public records section, and we're going to scroll down to virtual tours. When I open up this virtual tour section, the very first option we have here is Property Panorama VT. No, that VT does not stand for Vermont. It stands for Virtual Tour, and this is one of your free PrimeMLS member benefits. Property Panorama is going to be able to make a virtual tour based on the photos you upload with your listing. You know, you can have up to 60 photos now. So when you upload those photos and then you make your listing live, give the system about an hour or so, and then you should see, as long as you have selected yes here and have a minimum of 3 photos. But I know you're all great listing agents, so you're going to put in as much information about your property as you can. And that means you're really going to utilize all 60 of those photos. And that is going to allow Property Panorama to create a great virtual tour for you. Just remember, it takes about an hour after you make the property live, and you do need to select yes here. Now, you have some additional editing capabilities with those free virtual tours that are made from your photos. If you go back to your PrimeMLS dashboard and you scroll down to additional links, you'll notice you have a property panorama tile here. When you click on this tile, this is going to bring up your active listings, and you can start doing some editing. If you want to change the music, you can do that here, the music that's showing with that virtual tour. If you want the photos to flip through faster or slower, you can also take advantage of those editing capabilities here. And then you're going to notice that you can also use Property Panorama for some other things. They will do some automated digital marketing for you, and they will do some advertising as well. That would be an additional paid for service. And if you want to start exploring that, you can come into your help desk and you can go down to Property Panorama, and you can see that additional information on those services they provide at additional cost. They also have some pretty cool listing flyers that are available. So definitely something to think about as you are marketing your property in all those different ways that you can. Property Panorama can be a real help with that. You also have another listing data and media tool. This became available as a PrimeMLS member benefit, I think back in the summer, and that is showing time. So we'll go to that section here and we'll click on showing time. That's going to take us to this section, and it's going to show you what is included with your PrimeMLS member benefit using showing time. Now, it's not just for listing agents. It is also a buyer agent tool. As long as the listing agent enables the ability to submit an offer, it can really streamline the whole process of agents communicating and keeping track of those offers, and as the property moves from, you know, being active all the way to closing. So taking advantage of Showing Time Plus as a PrimeMLS member benefit is a great option for both listing agents and buyer agents. As the listing agent, you're going to want to start this process, and I'll show you how when you're in Paragon Professional, you can go up to Resources. You're going to find a number of your member benefits and tools available for you to access in Paragon Professional, as well as on your PrimeMLS dashboard. So after you put that listing in as a listing agent and you're taking advantage of things like CRS tax autofill and Property Panorama, you may want to come in here and go down to Showing Time and make sure all your settings are set. We can remind myself later. You can use your left side navigation menu to start setting up, you know, how and when the property can be shown. And like most member benefits and tools, if you need help while you're navigating Showing Time, they do have a help and support section, and they also have a little chat option down here in the bottom. Susan is asking, where can you go to view recordings like this one? You're going to do that on your PrimeMLS help desk. I'll point out at the end of our webinar where you can click on recorded webinars, and that's where you're going to find a previously recorded option. But I'm also recording today, so we'll get that uploaded. All right, once I am done with showing time, this opens in a new browser tab. So I can just exit out of there and I'm right back in Paragon Professional. Now, keeping in line with some more options for listing agents, and since we were already talking about your photos and how you can have up to 60 photos with every listing, you definitely want to make sure you are including floor plans. Remember, the more information you can provide for buyers, the more clicks they are going to look at that property, whether it's in the Collab Center or it's on our public facing websites, or it's on any of the third-party sites you can send your listing out to. You want to get as many eyes on that property as possible. So uploading up to 60 photos, and with each of those photos, you can also have labels and description, and that allows you to put even more information about that property. But because you are able to upload up to 60 photos, and floor plans are something definitely buyers are looking for, you want to take advantage of your member benefit of Cubicasa. Cubicasa is a free tool that allows you to take some photos of your listing, upload those photos into Cubicasa, and then within about 24 hours, they're going to turn around and give you those floor plans that you can access, you can add to your photos and provide that additional information to those buyers. So in order to start taking advantage of Cubicasa and get those floor plans, you're going to want to come to your PrimeMLS dashboard. You are going to want to click on their tile, which is right here. And then that is going to give you all the information you need to download that app and start taking advantage of all the benefits of using Cubicasa. All right, let's confirm that. That's a new one. So now I can scroll down and you can see they've got those steps, and it truly is as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. You download the app, you take those photos, you send it back to them, and then you're going to get some really great products here. They are also providing some additional paid for services, but the basic service of getting these floor plans are free with your Prime MLS member benefit. So if you haven't started taking advantage of Cubicasa, you definitely want to do that. The final thing I want to point out in this section is also on your PrimeMLS dashboard. I'm going to exit out of here, and we are going to talk about GBR. That's the Green Building Registry. We all know that, green properties, and environmentally friendly properties certainly are a big deal, not just in Vermont, but really it's kind of a trend nationwide. GBR, or the Green Building Registry, is going to help you both as a listing agent and when you're looking for those properties that buyers are interested in, and they want to see properties that, have those higher environmentally friendly ratings. You're going to be able to come in here and use this member benefit to see that. Not only can you use it to make sure any of that green building information that has been added to the Paragon database is accurate, but you can also come here to find mortgage products and tax credits, taking advantage of those kind of environmentally friendly options. And as a listing agent, you're going to want to make sure you include that information back on your listing sheet. So as you scroll up, you're going to see we have a whole section dedicated to green marketing and those third-party verifications for those environmentally friendly products and those energy rating options that you can get. So this is just another place within your listing that you can make sure you are properly promoting those features that your property has. But you can also use the GBR site to make sure you're also giving those features and upgrades the right price when you're listing the property. So that is going to be a great resource when you're looking for green and environmentally friendly information about properties. Any questions on any of those? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options we have started with. If not, let's go ahead and move to our consumer benefits section. Let's close this back up. We can do that so we can see our fields there. And let's go back to our Prime MLS dashboard. This is where you have access to our two public-facing websites, PrimeMLS.com and commercial.primemls.com. We definitely consider these to be consumer benefits, but of course, they're benefits to you as well as you are putting your inventory into that Paragon MLS database. That inventory is automatically flowing to the appropriate public-facing website. So any commercial sale or rental properties are going to commercial.primemls.com. All the other classes are going to primemls.com. Of course, that additional exposure is great for your sellers, but it's also great for you. Even if you're part of MLS as maybe Prime MLS as a secondary MLS, you want to make sure you're putting your inventory into our database because it does get you those additional views. And you can kind of take that to the next level. Anytime somebody is on our public facing website, and if they click to get more information about the property, we're always going to send that lead directly to the listing agent or the broker of that list office. But you can also increase the likelihood that you get some leads off your listings by taking advantage of your advertising remarks. Now, when you're inputting your information for new listings in Paragon Professional or Paragon Connect, we all know, because y'all are excellent agents, you are taking a lot of time in that remarks section and you are putting together some wonderful word pictures in your public facing remarks that talk about all the features your property has. And of course, if you're taking advantage of delayed showings, or if you have any agent interest in the sale of this property, that information is also in the public remarks. What you're never putting in your public remarks is any branded information. Branded information for Prime MLS purposes is information about you, the company you work for, any phone number, any website, any email address, even if it's like to a homeowners association. None of that information can be in your public remarks. But if you look right to the right of your public remarks, you have your advertising remarks. And you might notice that we give you an extra 500 characters in your advertising remarks. And that is so you can include branded information. The best way to take advantage of these two fields, put in all those beautiful word pictures talking all about your listing, including any agent interest in delayed showings in public remarks, copy them, paste them into advertising remarks, then use those extra 500 characters to add your contact information. You can have phone numbers, email addresses, websites. And when you are taking advantage of advertising remarks, that's what shows on our public facing websites. And we also request any of those third-party sites that you're sending your listing to, that they also use those advertising remarks. So once again, if you're not taking advantage of this and putting your contact information and branded information in advertising remarks, you are leaving money on the table, and we don't want that to happen. As we go through to our next consumer benefit, and you'll find that most of these consumer benefits are also a benefit to you as the agent. We've talked a little bit about flood zone information and how you can turn on those layers on the map and how you can go into CRS and get more information. But what happens when you actually have a buyer or a seller client that really needs flood insurance? We all know that can be a difficult process to find the right insurance company that can actually provide that. And Cartafront is going to make this easier for you. Not only do you have access to Cartafront here on your Prime MLS dashboard, but when you are looking at properties in the system, let me just go into Paragon Connect. We'll exit out of this section and get back to our home page. Let's see if we can get there with a couple of clicks. There we go. And if I go down to residential search under quick actions, I can go right into my residential search. And then in the top right corner, I'm just going to pull up one of my last 5 searches. So we'll go into this one. I think this might be some condos in Concord. It is. So when I want to see these results, I can go right into search. Now, first of all, I'm going to see this in a thumbnail view, but in the top right corner, I have my view switcher. So if I wanted to go to the map or spreadsheet view, I could easily do that. Either one of any of these 3 views, I'm going to be able to see some additional information. So when I go to the property report, I open that up here. Notice I'm starting to see some of my additional options and member benefits right here on this property report. They've been pulled out to make it easier for me to jump into that CRS property report, or also that real report that also is giving me public record data information. Real Reports likes to think of themselves as the Carfax for property, and we'll talk more about them in a moment. But I have even more third-party site options and member benefits and tool options at the top right corner in that center square. So when I click on that center square, this is where I'd be able to come and I could go right to Carterfront, and that's going to give me some options that I could share with my buyers or sellers who might need that flood zone information. It's going to help me connect them with the insurance agents that can provide that information. So that's what Carterfront is all about doing for you. Not only can you find that information for properties in the system here within that property report, of course you can find it in Paragon Professional as well. You've got the Skittles under that main photo when you're looking at the property report. And if you're on your spreadsheet, you've got your plug icon. It's generally all the way over to the right side on your spreadsheet, and you can open that up and be able to see that information there. Another consumer benefit that is certainly a benefit for agents, if you are doing any rental properties, we all know how tiring it can be to, get those applications out, get them back in, do the credit checks. Don't try to do all that yourself. Take advantage of Rent Spree and let Rent Spree do the work for you. We'll jump back onto our PrimeMLS help desk. We'll go back to our grid and we'll find Rent Spree among our options. Let's see, I just have to find it. There it is, kind of right in the center top row. So when I click on that, it's going to bring me to Rent Spree. And this is a free service to you as a PrimeMLS member. It is those potential renters that will be paying that $30 fee. And then all the information will be coming back to you, the rental agent on that property. And that's going to include tenant screening, rental applications, reference checks, document uploads. You can e-sign documents, and all of that is free with Rent Spree. When you are putting in those rentals, we'll hop into Paragon Professional for this and go up to listings, down to rental. Make sure you are going to listing information and then just scrolling down, and on that last section above location, you're going to be able to select yes, and then that creates a link. Once you make this rental live, that link will be available for those potential tenants to use. Pay that $30 to submit their application, and then of course all that information will be coming back to you. You're going to be able to find that information on your dashboard when you click on Rent Spree. That's where you'll find the information. And then finally, we want to talk about Lundy. Lundy is one of my favorite member benefits. It kind of has my heartstrings a little bit. So I'm going to go back to our dashboard, and we are going to, I think I can just scroll down and find the information on Lundy here. And kind of the backstory of Lundy is the creator of Lundy, he was looking for a property. They were going to invite, his wife's family, his mom, her mom and dad, to come live with them. And her mom was in the process of losing her sight. And if you think about real estate is so visual. So she was kind of left out of this process because she couldn't look at listing sheets and really kind of search the MLS or any of those third-party sites online and get information on properties. So this gentleman decided, this is a problem, and he had a fix for it. And he created Lundy. Lundy is a voice activated search. You're going to use this with um, not Alexa. Yeah, Alexa. You're going to use it with Alexa. So you can download Alexa on your phone, and you can start a voice activated search. And you're going to start that with Alexa, start finding homes. And then you're going to be able to say things like, I'm looking for a property in Concord. It needs to have a garage. It needs to be under 500,000. I like stainless steel appliances. What's available? And you're going to start getting some information, and Alexa is going to visually give you descriptions of these properties, using a voice description. Now, this is great for any potential buyer who might not, have full site advantage. You can certainly share this with them. It's available for anybody to use. It can also be an agent benefit because as you're in your car, and of course you don't want to be, texting or searching any sites, while you're driving, but you can certainly talk. You could open up Alexa on your phone and you could start getting some search results as you're going, from property to property when you're showing properties to a buyer. So if you are into multitasking, Lundy can certainly help with that. And right now it is only available with Alexa, but we expect that to be expanded, over the years to come. Of course, I've already kind of mentioned CRS and RPR a little bit. Those both provide, great data that you can share with your consumers. Another option is RPR. Now, RPR is specific to our members who are local board members. And if you are a member of a local board, that means you're also part of your state association of realtors, and then ultimately the National Association of Realtors. RPR is the National Association of Realtors product. So not only will you need some information, maybe your user ID or your user code, but you're also going to need your NARS number. And if you don't know that, you can find that information on your PrimeMLS dashboard. If we scroll up to the very top, you have a whole section called resources, and there's a lot of great information here, including the ability to look up your NARS number. Then you can access RPR, and RPR becomes a nationwide search tool for you. PrimeMLS, along with many other MLSs nationwide, are involved in a data feed with RPR. And so this allows you access to properties across the country. Of course, any of our information that's in Paragon will also be available in RPR. You can do CMAs there, you can search for properties, you can get all kinds of other information. So think of this as an additional source of public record information, just like you do CRS and real reports. And you can start taking advantage of that as long as you are a member of the National Association of Realtors. Now we've kind of tiptoed around real reports. Let's talk a little bit more about real reports as we go into our third section, stats and reporting. Real reports, RPR, list track, and green light are all going to be giving more information. Now, of course, in Paragon Professional, under the section of resources, you have a whole list of statistical reporting options here, and you can certainly take advantage of those. If you haven't, I recommend you coming in here and poking around. Great information to be found, but there is more information out there. I mentioned that plug icon when you're in Paragon Professional and how you can get those third-party resources. So let's kind of demonstrate that. I'm going to go up to search. We're going to do the same thing we did in Paragon Professional. I'm just in my residential search, and I'm going to go to one of my last searches. So that would be the same that I was just looking at in Paragon Connect. So I've got those condos. I can go to search. That brings me to my spreadsheet, and there is that plug icon. Because there's so much great information, I like to pull that over and have it over on my left side so I don't have to scroll to it. And then when I open up that plug icon, I can jump right into a number of different things. I can get the history of a property. I can see that specific property on a map. I love the quick view because that opens up the agent full report for me here, but keeps the spreadsheet in the background, which is really helpful if I'm selecting to print, email, or text listings. But here are all my integrated tools. So if I wanted to go to RPR and I have set up my account, I can do that right from here. And I can also go right into real reports. So I also have access to real reports on my dashboard. And that means I'm not just limited to getting this information on properties that are in the Paragon database. This is another one that you can have some paid for additional options, but the basic snapshot here is free and it does give you a lot of information. So I can just stay right here, hit continue. And now just by clicking on that section from the spreadsheet, Real Reports is putting together that report for me on that specific address. It just takes a moment. So we'll let that create for us. I'm also going to get an email with this report information. So it is very much shareable. There we go. And now you can start using this left side navigation to go to all these different pieces of information. So you can use CRS to get flood zone information. Real Reports also has that information. So I'll just kind of use my scroll or see if I can get here, if it will let me scroll. There we go. I'm going to see some climate information here. So a little more details. I'm going to have flood zone information here. I've got that information. Average daily weather, tons of stuff. We're going to pull in some information about radon. We've got a whole map view over here you can play around with. Lots of great information here in Real Reports. Remember, they like to consider themselves the Carfax of properties. So you're going to get a lot of information, even with the free basic service, that snapshot view that comes with your Prime MLS membership. And you can get this on as many properties as you want that are in the Paragon database, or you can go right to your Prime MLS dashboard, just scroll down, hop into Real Reports, and you can start putting in some addresses here. So if you want to see what it says about your own property that you own or rent, you could go in there and start pulling that information. And certainly you can share that information as well. RPR, we've mentioned that is that National Association of Realtors product. So if we hop back into Paragon Professional, we could use our plug icon to go right in and get more information from RPR. So if I click on that, I think it'll just take a moment to bring me here. I've already created my account, so I can log in. There we go. And then this is going to bring me to my RPR dashboard. And this is where I can do things like search for properties. I can do some research. They have some great reports here. And you can see I came to this from my spreadsheet. So I am getting that information on this property here. So I can get some automated value information that Real Reports RPR provides. And as I scroll down, you can see a lot of different options here. So using things like RPR, CRS, and Real Reports, great way to get additional information. And remember, CRS and Real Reports are for all of New England and New York. RPR is a nationwide search tool. So you've really got a lot of information at your disposal through your free Prime MLS member benefits and tools. Remember, RPR, you do need to be a member of the National Association of Realtors to be able to have that access. And then finally, a tool that is available to you, and this is particularly useful for real listing agents, is ListTrack. ListTrack is available for you here on your Prime MLS dashboard. And this is a great way to get information that you can share with your sellers. Not only will it tell them how their property is doing within Paragon with agent views and the collaboration center with potential buyer views. It's also going to show them how it's doing on our public facing websites and all those other third-party sites you can be sending your listing to. There is a monthly or yearly subscription fee with ListTrack, but it does provide some great information. If you would prefer not to pay for that information, remember you have access to give your sellers the ability to get information through Seller Side Collaboration Center access. Seller Side Collab Center is going to provide statistical information on how a property is doing with agent views in Paragon and potential buyer views in the Collaboration Center. And that is completely free. We have details on how you can set up Seller Side Collab Center access on your Prime MLS dashboard. And then another option for you is Greenlight. Greenlight, if you have a website or if you like to share graphs and charts, this is going to be a great member benefit for you. You can click on Greenlight. Once again, this is another benefit that also has some upgrade options, but the initial use of their live market reports completely free. So you can click on this section, you can start narrowing information down, and you can start really creating some great bar and graph charts on your market area. And then all of this information is shareable. So if you wanted to take this and add it to your own website, you can do that. And I'll just scroll through and you can start seeing just some of the information that you can pull from Greenlight. And then you, of course, have a whole dashboard here. And if you need help with Greenlight, I do believe at the bottom, they have a help section. It may be up here. Let's click on that and see what we get. But if you need some additional help, feel free to reach out and we can find out where you can get some additional information. It's pretty intuitive here. You can search by county and state and the property type you're looking for. And of course, you can narrow that down by size. And then you can start really creating those graphs and charts. And you could be adding this to a listing presentation or adding it to your own website. So great information available to you with Greenlight. And then now in the last 4 minutes, let's wrap things up with some CRM, social media, and lead generation tools. So CRM, that would be those options for your client management systems. And many of these folks, we're talking about Zipper Agent, Domi, Constant Contact, and the newest Ask the Agent, provide training options for you. Not only do we put any of the training classes that we are providing, that I teach here on your Prime MLS dashboard calendar, but we also add those member benefits and tool providers that are doing some training. So you can come here and you can see Real Reports is starting February off strong with a training session. You're going to find options from Greenlight and Constant Contact and Domi. They're all providing training next month. So you'll want to come here and check those out. Now, to decide if that is a webinar that you want to attend, of course, you can find more information on your Prime MLS dashboard help desk. And if we go up to, let's go up to the very top and let's start with Zipper Agent. Zipper Agent is going to be providing you ways to completely automate your communications with your buyers and sellers. They can create IDX websites, they have lead generation and marketing, and they can also do some social media promotion for you as well. They do a great webinar, and if you're a New Hampshire licensee, you can also earn up to CEs for your license renewal by attending their webinar. Dami is also a lead generation tool. We have that information right here, but they're not just offering you information about, lead gen. They're also providing you with additional information through their database about seller information, and they do a great webinar as well. So you can join Blaze and his crew in February to get more information about all the different services that you can utilize when you take advantage of Dami. And then finally, you have Constant Contact. Anytime you're doing some email marketing, let's see, I thought they were right here. There they are. You can turn over that email marketing to Constant Contact. That's a name we're all familiar with. And they really kind of own the market on email marketing. Stephanie does the webinar for Constant Contact, and this is the same with Zipper Agent and Dami. Even if you decide not to utilize their products, you're going to get some tips and tools on how you can do some of this yourself. And Stephanie is a very skilled presenter. So even if you don't think you're going to really invest in 2025 in email marketing, you can attend her Constant Contact webinar, and you're definitely going to pick up some tools on how you can stay connected with your buyers and sellers through really using some innovative tools that you can do through email. And then you have our last and final member benefit and tool. It's our newest one. It's just become available in the last few weeks, and that is Ask the Agent. Ask the Agent is all about video. So while Constant Contact deals with those email communications, Ask the Agent is all about visual presentation through video. This is a tool that you have a 14-day free trial. They can help you with, putting those videos together, what you should be, the message you should be getting out there, and then where that video should go, where it can be housed. And then if this is something that you are interested in after that free trial, you can see that there is a monthly or a yearly fee involved with taking advantage of Ask the Agent. Whew, that was almost 20 different tools and benefits that you can review and take advantage of through your PrimeMLS membership. Now, we have a previous recorded webinar on all of these member tools and benefits. And of course, you can always come here and review the information, not only on the help desk, but you can start using your PrimeMLS dashboard. Click on those tabs and start exploring all those options. If you need to review this particular webinar or any other webinar that we have recorded for you, that is here on your help desk behind recorded webinars. Remember, we do that 60-minute webinar on CRS. You would find that one here. And then all of your Paragon recorded webinars are going to be available for you to review here as well. Susan, I'm glad you have lots of notes, but remember, everything I've talked about is right here on your help desk for you to review. So you really don't need to have any additional notes. And yes, I am always, do I have any class handouts? I don't have any handouts because all of the information is available here on your help desk for you to come back and review at any time. Rent Spree, you can click on their tile file on your dashboard, and they're going to give you all the information you need. And if your office is ever interested in having me come out and do a live presentation, that is something we can do as well. So thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I hope this will spur you into start exploring those many member benefits and tools. And of course, if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach PrimeMLS staff through your dashboard. We have our phone numbers there. And then on your help desk, you can chat and send us tickets. And if you ever have questions on any of your benefits and tool providers, we can reach out to them and get those answers for you as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.